everyone's hoping that the quarterback that they draft is the one that drops into their lap from the football gods. You know, God bless Cam Ward if he's drafted second overall, because the last 2 second overall picks were C.J. Stroud 2 years ago and last year Jaden Daniels. So good luck to whoever's drafted second overall. I guess the only other spot that's the most pressure-filled is if you're drafted 199th overall as a quarterback. Good luck, because we already know you're the second best to ever be drafted in that position. Right? Everyone's hoping that they turn into the next generation. And, you know, one way to, I understand every single time Mahomes does anything against the Bills, everybody brings up the fact that the Chiefs traded up with the Bills. Yep. And, you know, the Bills took a first-round pick from the Chiefs in the next year's draft and used that on Tremaine Edmonds. But they had another draft choice in that draft. And they used that one on Josh Allen. And as Sam Darnold is now on team number 4, being drafted 3rd overall, having the contract mimicking the latest contract for the 1st overall selection in that draft, Baker Mayfield, who's finally found a home in Tampa. And hopefully for Sam, his home in Seattle is as seemingly permanent as Baker's is in Tampa. Josh Allen's the one that just hit it from jump. And he's now on his 2nd monster contract. And believe it or not, the NFL appears to be the world in which you could sign for $330 million overall. And I have imagined he's going to see all of that and be asked if you gave money back to the team by signing such a contract, by not taking more millions of dollars. And this was Josh Allen's answer to that. He was asked in his press conference, his Zoom, in which he spoke for the first time since hitting it. I think, is this the first time he's spoken since winning the MVP as well, I believe, since his speech? I don't recall him having any other press availabilities. And I was tap dancing to hear back from Mike Hoskins, who knows everything about Buffalo Bills. He said quite possibly this is his first since the MVP. At any rate, he was asked about giving millions of dollars, if not $5 million back, by not signing for more.
It didn't seem like, to my perspective, I was taking a whole lot less. But when the way that I make sense of it, when you start getting these fairly big numbers throughout the entire league, you know, it's weird to say this, but what's 5 more going to do for my life that I can't already do right now, right? So like it's not that crazy to me, right? Like I live a pretty good life, got a house, got a car. We're good, but I wasn't looking to absolutely kill them at every chance that I could. And I told my agent that. I was like, hey, if this has any impact on the pack, or impact on the cap, I should say, let's figure out a way to not do that.
Love it. Sounds great. And you know what I thought when I saw that? That's a quarterback who's under the most pressure entering 2025.
Here you go. Here you go.
I figured Dennis Leary coming out is not going to stir things up enough. Bro, seriously.
Cool.
You think that guy's under the most pressure in 2025? Like that's the guy.
Yes.
Who didn't sign for enough, and he's just like, you know, I got a house, I got a car.
I don't understand
I'm okay. We're good.
Anything that he just had to say. Love Josh Allen. This has nothing to do with the division rival or anything. How does that translate to on the field? And what's going to happen between September and February?
I don't even put him. How about this?
Don't say it. Don't say it because you're wrong.
I don't even put him in the top 5.
Exactly. You're
quarterbacks under the most pressure
insanely
in 2025.
not true.
I don't even put him in the top 5. I don't even put him in the top 5. Let me say that again. Let me stress a different word. I don't even put him in the top 5.
Well, you're wrong.
How about this?
Okay, how about
Let's do it.
We already know. If we're going to do a list, we already know who's number 1. So start at 2 and go from there.
Number 1, Dak is in the top 5.
Then why is Josh Allen not in the top 5 if Dak Prescott is?
No one thinks the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl.
Brock Purdy is entirely in the top 5.
Brock Purdy already went to a Super Bowl.
Brock Purdy is entirely in the top 5. He's going to get paid, guys.
Okay, then what is the difference between Purdy and Josh Allen?
Because Purdy might not get another.
But he's already been there.
And he might not be on the 49ers in a couple years.
Again, who cares?
What do you mean, who cares? He cares. That's pretty big, Chris. That would be pretty
So Josh
huge.
Allen doesn't care about winning or beating the Chiefs finally in the playoffs?
Of course he cares. Of course he cares. But he's going to have another run at it the next year and the year after that and the year after that.
How do we know that? I bet Dan Marino thought that.
I know he thought that.
Okay. Brock Purdy's on that list. I wasn't planning on doing this. This may take some time.
That's fine. We got time.
I was Aaron Rodgers wherever he shows up, because he's got only a few minutes left potentially in his career. Few minutes when he obviously an entire career, couple seasons left. Russell wherever he shows up, that's another one. He might not have another opportunity. That's pressure.
No one thinks wherever Russell Wilson goes they're Super Bowl contenders. Nobody thinks that. Same thing with Rodgers. These are about guys who've never been there, who have won awards,
this is why,
and have got the big money, finally winning and getting to the Super Bowl.
This is our difference.
Lamar Jackson.
This is
Josh
our
Allen.
difference.
Justin
Your
Herbert.
view of pressure is what other people are going to say about them, and my view of pressure is life and opportunity no longer being A, possibly guaranteed, or B, being there at all. That's pressure.
Their careers are over.
Pressure is like, oh
Russ
my God.
and Aaron Rodgers have won Super Bowls.
What if one of these guys turns on the TV the day after their season's over and sees the topic bar all about them and half of our industry yelling about them? That's not the way I view pressure.
That's the world that we live in right now.
I view pressure as, will they get another opportunity? Which is why maybe I take Dak off the list after all.
I mean, you're talking legacy. You're talking having a job.
Well, I'm also talking legacy when it comes to Rodgers and Wilson, too. So I'm not saying legacy is not at all part of it. I'm just saying you're like, oh, my God, people are just going to say he's one of the worst or he's not this and he's not that, which might have part of legacy because legacy is, in fact, written by those who talk about it. Because those people are eventually going to be the selectors for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, or they're deemed not compromised enough by the Associated Press in their wacky way of deciding who gets to vote for MVPs.
If Josh Allen never makes a Super Bowl, never wins a Super Bowl, his career is a complete flop.
But he still has more time to get that Super Bowl and an organization that is functional enough to create the opportunities for him over and over again. That's why I'm saying it's not as much pressure to do it. I'm talking about time running out on a career or maybe getting something for the first time that, yes, the outside conversation will add to some form of pressure, but they might not get another opportunity to do it.
But they've already been there.
I mean, like, if you've already got a ring, how much pressure are you true? I mean, like, you did it.
Well, if Rodgers wants to keep playing and he wants to be talked about like a certain caliber of quarterback that walks into the Hall of Fame first ballot with multiple rings, then yeah. So I've come up with 3. I need 2 more. Drake May. No, I'm not going to do that.
I don't know why you're making fun of me, man.
Justin Fields. That's another one. Kid's going to be in New York City, and he's got a 2-year, $20 million deal, and this might be the last time he gets a contract like that. That's a lot of pressure. That's big-time pressure. You know, that's a lot of long-time listeners, first-time callers to tune out.
But that's the same boat that Allen's in.
No, it's not.
I think we all kind of have different definitions. I think Chris and my definition kind of lie a little bit closer. It's when you have the Lamars, the Josh Allens, guys who've won the MVPs and who are taught as generational talents, and they haven't been able to take that next step and win the championship. I feel like when you say life, yeah, no one has pressure. They're all paid. They're all doing well. But as an athlete on the football field, there's some pressure for you to be listed amongst those greats.
Who's a 5th quarterback here? Who do we got?
Well, you want to put Tua on there? Kirk Cousins?
Well, Tua's got more runway left on his career. Cousins might be one. If he gets an opportunity.
Does he?
What?
Does Tua have more runway on his career? If he gets injured again or another concussion, that might be it.
I'm just saying he's got more. If he's not hurt, he's got more runway on his contract. Maybe in a year or two. Him and Trevor Lawrence, that's the sort of thing. That's where see, now you're coming to see the way I'm seeing it right now.
No,
I know you're not.
Absolutely not.
But you're seeing it under the mat. You're giving me names through the prism.
I'm trying to
through my prism.
I'm trying to get to Dennis Leary now.
I think he's giving you those names to try to.
All right. No, I see what you're saying. Screw it. Let's just say Daniel Jones and be done with it.
No one thinks Daniel Jones is going to do anything.
Okay. So then, but then again, you're using the prism. The same prism.
Here's the deal. Joe Burrow's under a lot of pressure.
No, he's not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's got 10 more years left of his, and he might show up somewhere else instead of Cincinnati. He might one day pull a Carson Palmer.
Joe Burrow is on the Dan Marino path, and that is not a path you want to be on.
Okay. I couldn't come up with a fifth because,
There isn't one?
Well, there's going to be one. I just didn't want to come up with one, and he's right. Dennis Leary's in our green room, and it hasn't been for 7 years. So let's bring him out. Let's end this. 844-204. I know it sounds unsatisfying, but it's the truth.
Jared Goff is under a lot of pressure next year.
Yeah.
That one, I think.
That
one works for both views.
All right. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.